Hello everyone and welcome you all to another chapter of CapCut Semi-Advanced Tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 12 where we'll be making a YouTube short in CapCut. Okay, so we'll be learning how you can actually make a YouTube short over here. So let's not waste time. Let's get started. So over here, as you guys can see, now I'm here in the home page of the CapCut. So now from here, I will create up a new project. And now let me import some videos, okay? So the videos which I want to import is basically over here in my resource file. Let's take these three videos which I do have over here. Let's take this one and let's click on Shift to select all of these three together. So now I will just open this thing up. And over here, what I can do is I can just place all of these footages right over here. Okay, so I'll just choose this one up as well. And I'm going to put this thing over here as well. Okay, so now what I can do is I can just come here. And from here, I can just decrease the timing to maybe around 5 seconds. Okay, so if this footage is around 5 seconds, I'll put this around 5 seconds and let's check this one. Okay, so let's just put it exactly around 10 seconds. Okay, and lastly I will come over here and I will just decrease this to exactly 15 seconds mark. Okay, so I will come here and I will just put this one as a 15 seconds mark. Let's put it right over here. And what you want to do is, as you're creating a short, you want to actually select the ratio. Okay, so I will just take this particular ratio, which is 9:16. Okay, so I'll come here and I will just take out this ratio. And what I'll do is I will just increase the size of the footage. Okay, so let's come here. Let's just play this thing up. And what I can do is I can come here and I can just place this frame all around. Okay, so I can basically place this frame around over here. If you want me to increase the size, you guys can basically increase the size from here as well. Okay, so this is how you guys can put on the first one. Let's come to this one again, and what you can do is you guys can actually increase the size. Okay, so come here, let's just increase the size quite like this. And again, come to this video, select this one and adjust the size from here as well. Okay, so come here, let's just play this thing up. Okay, so if you want to just zoom out, here you guys can see this is how it will basically look. Okay, so now I do have all of these footages here onto this particular place. And now again, what I'll do is I will just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'll just zoom in right over here. And now I am going to come over here into the first one. Okay, so to give this one a cinematic view, what I'm going to do is I am going to come here onto the effects. Okay, so from here I can actually select different kind of effects. Okay, so over here you guys can see these are few of the effects which you can basically use. And here also you guys can see these are few of the effects which you can actually use. Let's take this one and let's put out this effect right over here. Okay, and let's choose up the starting point. Okay, so I just want it to start over here and end this right over here as well. Okay, so like this, let's just play it up and let's just check this one. Okay, so this is how you guys can actually put up your video. Okay, so now what you'll do is come over here into this video, and now over here you guys can actually see that how it will look. Okay, so I will come here and now I am going to put this one right over here as well. Let's just decrease the timing. Okay, so if you want to decrease the timing, you guys can. And if you want to change the atmosphere, you guys can actually change the atmosphere from here as well. So now let's play this thing, and this is how it will actually appear, and this is how it will just go or fade out. So lastly, come to this one, and what you can do is just download all of these things over here as well. Okay, so let's select this one and let's just download this part over here as well. And now let's select this one right over here. Okay, so you guys can see I can just bring this thing up from here and just place it over here again. Okay, so now again I will just decrease the timing of this particular effect. Okay, and what I can do is I can just place this thing right over here. Okay, so I can just place this thing. Let's play this up, and this is how it will appear. Okay, so here this is how the video will look like. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have this video, and over here what I'm going to do is I am going to come here and let's go with this one. Okay, and over here again what I'll do is I will just go here and take a text box. Okay, so let's come here, and what you can do is just put up your text box over here on top. And what I'm going to do is I am going to come here and decrease the text box size accordingly. Okay, so over here, if I just double click onto this spatial option part, okay, so here you guys can see this one looks quite good. Okay, so come over here again, and now what you can actually do is come to this particular part, and over here you guys can actually change the text. Okay, so now over here what you can do is you guys can come here and you guys can write your text. Okay, so I will just type passion. Okay, so I will just write passion over here, and what I'm going to do is I am going to change the font. Okay, so if I come here, if I just change the font, okay, so I will just place it right over here. Okay, so let's place it somewhere over here, and now let's just change the color. Okay, so let's come here, let's go with a different color. Okay, so if you are going with black color, you guys can come here and you guys can basically put it quite like this. Okay, so over here you guys can place it like this, and what you can also do is you guys can just add some animation to it. Okay, so if you want to do that, if you want to work with the keyframes, what you can do is you guys can come here on this one and just decrease this thing. And once you come over here in this particular part, okay, what you'll do is you guys can just increase this thing to quite like this. Okay, so now put this one right over here, keep this thing, place it right over here, and again add another keyframe. And lastly, when you come to this last position, what you can do is you guys can just scale it down. Okay, so you guys can basically scale it down quite over here as well. Okay, so this is how it will disappear. Okay, so you guys can see this is how it will appear and this is how it will disappear over here. Okay, if you want to work with the colors, okay, so you guys can come here and work with the color as well. Okay, suppose you want to come here, otherwise select different kind of text type. Okay, so let's come here, let's place my playhead, and here you guys can select different kind of text boxes. Okay, so here you guys can see, okay, and if you just come down, different kind of presets. Okay, so a lot of presets. If you want to uh, check all this out, you guys can check all of this out over here as well. Okay, so you guys can come here and you guys can just place these things properly. Okay, so if you come here, let's place this one. This is the red one right over here. And if you want to take any of it, you guys can actually take any of this from here as well. Okay, if you don't want to put none, you guys can come here and select on the none option. Okay, so now just come here on top again and select a dark black color. Okay, and I'll just place it right over here. Again, click on default text. Okay, so come here, and what you can do is you guys can just select this one, check where do you have just adjusted this one. Okay, so come here, and from here till here. Okay, so I will just put my text box from here till here. Let's come to the first place, and from here what you can write is dedication. Okay, so I will just write dedication. And what I can do now is I can just come here and I can just increase the size, and also the same way I can actually place it over here accordingly. So now let's place it over here. Let's take this text, and what you can do is you guys can just place it right over here. Okay, so now once you just place this thing quite over here, now I want it to appear in a different way. Okay, so for that, what I can actually do is, if you want to put on anything quite like this, okay, if you want to put all of these things, you guys can also do that. I will just cancel. And if you do want to put on some effects over here, you guys can basically put on some effects over here as well. Okay, so you guys can select this one. Let's go to animation. Okay, so from animation, you guys can see there are a lot of options. Okay, so from which you guys can actually choose. Okay, so you guys can come here and check those out. Okay, so let's take this one and let's select this one over here. Okay, so it will just end quite like this. So this is how you guys can actually do your work over here as well. Let's come to this position, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up text box. Okay, so now I will come here, and if you want to come to this position from here till here. Okay, so I will just put my text box over here. Now let's place my playhead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click. And from here, now let's go to basic first. And let's go to this text box. And now I will just write discipline. Okay, so I will just write discipline. And let's change the font type. Let's come here and let's select this fervent. Okay, so come here and just increase the size of this thing from here as well. Okay, so now just place it over here. If you do want to change the color, you guys can come here and change the color over here as well. Otherwise, you guys can just keep this thing here on top, and instead of a black color, you guys can go with some thing like white. Okay, so you guys can select this one. Otherwise, if you want to give some effects, okay, you guys can come here, go to the effects, and from here you guys can actually give all of these options. Okay, so you guys can come here, maybe give this art. Okay, so check this one. Okay, so check all of these things right over here. And from here, basically what you can also do is you guys can actually choose from all of it. Okay, so if you come here, you guys can see that you do have all of these options over here as well. So now just select any one. Okay, if you come here, go to basic, let's change the color to black. Okay, so here you guys can just put this one, and what you can do is just come here, select this text, and maybe you guys select this and put this thing here on top a little bit. Now just select this box, and what you can do is you guys can just decrease this one over here, and this particular frame of video I will just put it over here on top a little bit. Okay, so now this one looks good. Okay, so now if you want to add some animation to it, you guys can come here and you guys can go to effects, or you guys can go directly to animation, and you'll be able to animate from here as well. Okay, suppose I will just use over here the keyframes. Okay, so for that, let's go to basic, and from here I will just use this positioning one. Okay, so I will just add up a keyframe, and what I'll do is I am going to bring this thing down over here. And now once I will just move this thing up. Okay, so let's just move this thing up over here. Let's take this particular text box. Okay, and just move this thing over here on top. Okay, so come here, and if you do want to zoom out a little bit, come here and just place this thing right over here in the center. Okay, so now place this thing and place it over here in this particular place. Okay, so now place it right over here, and I have added a keyframe. Let's place it over here again, add another keyframe, and lastly just come here at the last and just place it underneath. Okay, so you guys can come here and maybe place it underneath from here as well. So now over here, if you do want to increase the size, okay, you guys can come here and basically you guys will be able to increase the size. Let's move out these keyframes accordingly. If you want to increase the size of the keyframes or the total video from here as well, I will show you how you can actually do that. Come here, go to this special text option. Let's place it over here onto the same line. Okay, so I'll just place it right over here. Okay, so now let's just play this whole thing out. Let's move my playhead. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so let's come here and let's zoom this thing out. And let's just play this thing around. So here you guys can see how it actually looks. Okay. And now over here, you guys can see now I do have that motion. And here again, you guys will also be able to see that I do have this option. Okay. So let's come here. And if you do want to decrease the size, you guys can come here and you guys will be able to decrease the size from here as well. Okay. So come here, let's put it. And after that, what you can do is you guys can come here. Okay, so if you do want to delete this one, you guys can come here and click on delete option. Okay, so now I will come here and check this particular frame, and after that what happens is it will just slowly go down. Okay, but I don't want it to, so I will just come here, I will just delete this keyframe from here as well. I will click on delete, and lastly what I can do is I will just change its opacity. So let's come here, let's place it, and now over to this particular place, what I'll do is I will come right over here. And again, now let's go to the blend option. From here, I will just give 100% opacity. Okay, so I will just give 100% opacity over here. And lastly, okay, in this place, what I'll do is I will just decrease the opacity to 0. Okay, so now I do have this keyframe over here as well. Let's play this thing. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is how it actually looks. Okay, so now here you guys can see the effects and the text animation. And over here, this is how it will appear and this is how it will go out. Okay, so this is the 15 seconds YouTube short, which I do have prepared. Shift Z. Okay, now I'll be able to view all of these things properly. So now once you are done with this particular part, what I'm going to do is I am going to go to my media. Okay, so from my media, what I'll do is I will go to import, and from here I want to actually import this particular short image. Okay, so I will just click on open, and this one I do have applied. Okay, so what I can do now is I can just place this one maybe from here till last. I will just place this thing up, and what I can do is suppose I want to keep this thing. Okay, so for that I will come here, come to this particular point, click on Control B for a split. Okay, so I will just split it right over here, come to this position and click on Control B for another split. Let's try to arrange it individually. Okay, so I'll come here, and over here what I'll do is I'll just keep the short uh, option right over here in one side. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll just place it here in one side, and the same way. So now over here, actually I have did the sizing over here. Okay, and now I will come to this next one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing, decrease the size, and I'm going to put this thing here in this particular corner. Okay, and after that come to this, and what you can do is just take this one and maybe just put it right over here in one side. Okay, if you do want to decrease the size, you guys can come here and decrease the size accordingly. Okay, so now what I can do is if I do want to put on some animation, I can come here and I can just put on some animation over here as well. Okay, so keyframes over here, keyframes over here. Let's put on some animation onto all of this. Let's come to the first one and let's check the in and out. Okay, go to animation, and for in I will just fade in, and for out I will just select this rotation one. Okay, so just come to this part again, go to in option, select shake, and lastly come over here, go to out and select zoom in. Okay, so you guys can just select zoom in, come to this option, let's select rotation, and now let's come here into the in point, let's select zoom. Okay, so over here let's just play this thing up now. Okay, so let's play this thing over here. Okay, and now it will just change it to another video, as you guys can see, and it will disappear as well. Okay, and it will come quite like this, and lastly it will disappear quite like this over here as well. Okay, so now I do have the video, and if you want to put any kind of adjustment layer on top, I will go to adjustment, click on custom adjustment, and from here I will just increase the size. Okay, and now if you want me to give up any cut, okay, I can come here and I can come to this point and click on Control B. Okay, and come to this point over here with your playhead and give another Control B or a split over here. Come to the first one, and from here what you guys can actually do is you guys can come here and put up an adjustment layer. Okay, so for that I will just only add some vignette over here to give it a cinematic look. Okay, so I can come here, and now what I can do is from this point I will just select a keyframe, and now what you can do is you guys can just fade this thing out. Okay, so you guys can just put it around 30. Okay, and once this one is basically done, okay, so here now I will just come here and just, let's say, I will try to put this thing right over here. And at this point, what I'll do is I will just go for 0. Okay, so I will have 0 over here. And till this much, let's give it a 30. Okay, so let's come here and let's select 30. Okay, so I will just come here and I'll just give 30. Okay, so here I do have adjusted. So now let's say it will come over here and it will go dark quite like this. And then it will come here and change it to this part. And now what I can do is come to this adjustment layer. And what you can do is before it will be quite like this. Okay, so now I will just add this one. And over here now, once I come to this position, what I can do is I can just bring it to 0 back again. Okay, so let's come here and let's just play it up, and it will appear quite like this. Okay, so come here, and what you can do is at this particular point, okay, it will just stop at this particular point, and now it will come here and it will just end over here. Okay, so from here again what you can do is just select this particular part. Okay, so this particular part, what you can do is you can just add some vignette over here. Okay, so I will just click from here, and now what you can do is you guys can come here to this point, and maybe you guys can actually change it. Okay, so you guys can come here and you guys can just change it to 30. Okay, so now I will come here and let's just play this thing up again. So over here now you guys will be able to see the change. Okay, so here you guys can see, and now also you will be able to see the changes, and over here you guys will be able to see it will slowly turn into black. Okay, so this was about it. Okay, I hope you guys have understood this simple thing right over here. Okay, so once you're done, if you want to add some transitions, okay, you guys can add some small transitions over here. Okay, you guys can use this mix one. Okay, otherwise if you guys click onto this, let's place it right over here in the center. I'll click on OK, and from here I will choose the duration, and now I will just place this one over here as well. Okay, so now once I am done, let's just play this thing up. Okay, and here now again you guys can see it will just come quite like this, and again it will just disappear, or let's just delete this transition because that one doesn't look that great. Let's select this fade one. Okay, come here and just select this fade option. Okay, so let's play it, and here this transition looks better. Okay, so now as I do have this transition over here as well, lastly what I'm going to do is I'm going to select an audio. Okay, and from here I will just write sport or athlete. Let's write athlete. Okay, and I'll just click on enter. Okay. So here you guys can see I do have a lot of musics which I need to download. So let me download all this first and let's hear uh, which is the one we are going to use. Okay, so now let's just play this thing. So let's take this audio, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it right over here. Okay. So let's just trim this one a little bit. Click on zoom to fit timeline. I will come here and I'll just try to zoom to fit here in the timeline. Let's bring it quite over here. And again, let's just place it here in the same spot. Let's add a 0.5 seconds fade in. Okay. And over here, let's add 1 seconds, okay? Instead of 0.1, let's come here and let's put it 1 seconds over here as well. So now let's click on Shift and Z to fit it over here in the timeline. Now let's see the total preview. So yeah, I hope you guys have understood this class on how you will be able to use CapCut to make a YouTube short. So lastly, what you need to do is you need to come here and export. Let's just save this one's title as YouTube short. Okay, so I'll just name this one as YouTube short. And from here, let's go to export to, and let's go to desktop. Let's go to content, or let's go back again. Okay, let's come here. Let's go to my resource file. Let's select this videos folder, and I will just export this thing out. So yeah, I hope you guys have understood this class on how you'll be able to make a stunning YouTube short in CapCut. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone.